Iran just shut down its internet across 153 cities as reports of mass killings spread, and US drones and missiles are now positioned to hit internal security command centers. That's not speculation. It's the exact dilemma the Pentagon briefed. Watch as we map the timeline from 2 US soldiers killed in Syria on December 13th to the December 19th high strike to January 8th when Tehran went dark, and break down why precision strikes without boots on the ground could decide whether this becomes a regional war. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Why did 2 rifles in the Syrian desert light the fuse under the Gulf? Because those rifles weren't alone. They sat on top of a network. On December 13th, a paired ambush near Palmyra killed 2 American soldiers on patrol. The triggermen carried ISIS flags, but the logistics trail pointed elsewhere. CENTCOM analysts mapped the phones, money drops, and safe house pickups and found enabling nodes tied to militias long bankrolled and trained by Iran's security apparatus. You don't need a signed order when the ammo, radios, and sanctuaries all trace to the same patrons. That answer opens the map. Washington read the contact report and faced a narrow lane. The White House wanted to punch back without a march to Tehran. Tehran sent its own message. Touch our networks, and missiles will aim at US bases in Qatar, Bahrain, and Kuwait. That warning echoed across flight decks and tank farms from Al Udeid to Manama. The risk calculus tightened. Strike too softly and you invite more ambushes. Strike too hard and you get a sky full of ballistic arcs over the Gulf. 6 days later came high strike. The package was compact but sharp. Bomb racks and cruise missiles hit depots, training sites, and coordination cells used by Assad-aligned units and militias, with IRGC backing inside Syria. Runways stayed intact. Radar sites stayed off the target list. The aim was to break the hands that armed and guided the ambushers without toppling the table. It was a pivot, from tolerating proxy poke and bleed to applying direct pressure on the machinery that keeps those proxies lethal. The ripples were immediate. Iranian air defense units cycled to higher alert, batteries dispersed from fixed pads, launchers tucked into urban clutter, and crews pulled longer watches. Along the Euphrates corridor, militia teams shifted safe houses, swapped comms, and pulled heavy weapons away from known dumps. At the same time, the Pentagon slid more eyes and gas into place. ISR orbits thickened. Tankers moved closer to shorten response times and keep strike aircraft loitering longer. It was quiet movement, but the theater geometry changed. Precision needs a backbone. Forward-deployed drones provided persistent stare and rapid shooters. Standoff missiles gave reach without crossing defended airspace. AWACS stitched the picture, sorting civilian traffic from military movers. And cyber teams prepared to switch off nodes, firewalls, radios, and command relays, long enough to open a hole without stepping over a border. You don't need to land a jet if you can blind the sentry and strike from outside his yard. Experts drew lines on what that meant. One camp argued that a sustained package, drones, cruise missiles, repeat raids, can grind down internal security capacity, the regime's nightstick, without a single boot crossing a frontier. Others warned of escalation ladders where each rung invites the next, especially when retaliation can jump across geography to Gulf bases and tankers. Both views shaped the roster of targets and the pacing. Meanwhile, pressure inside Iran mounted. Through late December and into early January, protests grew from scattered crowds into a map of cities under strain. Water levels in Tehran's reservoirs hit dead volume, the currency sagged, and prices bit harder each day. Rumors spread of elite families booking routes through Istanbul and Vienna, a quiet vote of no confidence. Authorities didn't treat the unrest as a seasonal flare-up. They treated it like a threat to survival. By January 8th, the posture built after high strike offered a ready lever. With drones overhead, tankers forward, and target decks refined, the United States could hit internal security command centers on short notice. Not an invasion. Not a regime change pledge. a credible option that punished the tools of repression and signaled costs for further proxy attacks. With the aircraft fueled and the targets queued, the fight slid from open skies to power-starved neighborhoods and screens gone dark, where the next decision would carry both military weight and political heat. What forces a capital of 15 million to the edge? Not a bomb, empty reservoirs. When taps run slow and pressure dies, people don't wait for orders. They move. Tehran's 5 main reservoirs hit dead volume, the point where intakes suck mud and air. Pumps strain, rationing spreads, and the water ministry cycles neighborhoods on and off to keep hospitals and command centers wet. Add a currency that sheds value by the week and banks that choke lending, and the engine stalls. Shops raise prices twice a day. Payrolls slip. Fuel subsidies shrink. Then the security blanket thins. After Israel's rising lion raided deep and degraded nuclear support nodes and air defense coverage, Iran's coercive aura dimmed. Missiles still exist, but confidence took a hit and neighbors adjusted. Protests didn't start with speeches. They started with bills and empty shelves. They surged across 153 cities, and the tempo shifted from economic chance to direct defiance. Security units pushed hard. Video clips showed baton charges in plainclothes pickups, and casualty claims climbed even as morgue access tightened. On January 8th, the government pulled the main lever, an almost total internet shutdown that dropped national connectivity to under 1%. That cut travel routes for organizers, killed live streams, and starved journalists of verifiable feeds. It also gave security chiefs cover to move before the next sunrise. Here's the paradox. Senior officials went on state TV to concede management failures and promise fixes. Yet flight manifests and consular chatter flagged elite families routing out through Istanbul and Vienna. You don't run if you trust the dam will hold. Embassies clocked more inquiries. Real estate agents in safe havens fielded cash offers. The signal was not subtle. Confidence at the top eroded, even as the public line called for patience and unity. An internet blackout is more than silence. Tactically, it shreds protest logistics. No trusted meet points, no medics on call, no rapid reroute when riot vans appear. It masks crackdowns by breaking the chain from phone camera to outside verification. It also muddies open-source intelligence, turning analysts into guessers. But that darkness has edges. External information ops can slip in via satellite TV, SMS blasts, and leaflets. Mesh networks and satellite links become force multipliers if someone funds and protects them. That's where Washington's menu lands on the Resolute desk. Option 1 stays indirect. Expand satellite internet access to organizers. Share pattern-of-life intelligence that keeps crowds out of kill boxes. And freeze assets tied to internal security commanders to cut their payrolls. Option 2 goes kinetic but narrow. Limited strikes on internal security headquarters and radio hubs that coordinate crowd control, timed to disrupt deployments without cratering civilian infrastructure. Option 3 scales up. A broader aerial campaign against missile brigades, storage bunkers, and air bases that anchor deterrence. Each path carries a clock and a cost. Deterrence cuts both ways. Carrier groups and destroyers in the Gulf deter mass missile salvos, but they also put thousands of sailors within reach if Iran fires back. The Strait of Hormuz is a thin throat. Close it with mines or rockets, and energy markets convulse. Tankers divert. Insurance rates spike. A single misread radar return can escalate a patrol into a shooting night.